So with that, we'll get started, folks. Good morning, Matt Braden here from the GPAR staff. I hope everybody's having a great kickoff to their Friday. We're so happy to have you all with us here on this happy occasion, celebratory occasion, and also an occasion of seriousness as we swear in our 2021 Board of Directors. So we're so happy to have all of you here with us today. We're going to have a few folks from the national and state associations joining us with a few words of encouragement, as well as swearing in our Board of Directors today. In addition, we're going to go ahead and learn a little bit about our folks that we're swearing in today, so that you can have a better idea of who your leadership team is for the year going forward. Before we get started with that part of today's event, we're going to go ahead and have the Pledge of Allegiance. So at this time, I would like to introduce the pride of Cardinal Doherty and our 2018 GPAR President, Joe Ray. He is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you give me a second, Joe, I'm going to get the flag up here to make this really official for us, okay?
Awesome.
There we go.
Right, we ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Joe. Thank you very much.
God bless America.
While we have Joe here, I think it's really important for us to talk about Joe as it relates to the recent fundraiser that we had. We were talking about it earlier in our little pregame getting ready for today's conversation, but it's important, I think, that we point out Joe. So that fundraiser, which was the 2020 Feed Philly 5K, which was a virtual event. We never had done anything like that before. Our Horizons Committee, led by Katie McGrath, put that together, and they really had a spectacular event for us. And Joe did a phenomenal job. So Joe took advantage of social media. He put it out to his network. He took a blustery cold walk on the main streets of North Wildwood, put it out there. Joe raised over $1,900 through his network. Highest individual fundraiser in the event. We had over 50 participants. So let's give a round of applause to Joe Ray for that effort. Awesome job, Joe. Thank you so much.
Way to go, Joe.
My pleasure. I'd like to thank, all my friends. That was really just put together last minute. And, it just showed people were looking to help at a time of the year where, everybody's kind of stuck in the house, and it's something that they could do for a great cause. So I was glad to help, and I'm looking forward to doing it again next year.
Thanks again, Joe. And we'll talk about the 5K a little bit later on, because we have some other people that we need to thank for that extraordinary effort that we had to wrap up 2020. So before we get into swearing in our folks, I would like to go ahead and talk about some of the changes that happened at GPAR. A lot of things happened at the end of the year and then spilling back over into 2021. But the GPAR team is ready, willing, and able to help out our new Board of Directors. We love being able to help you guys out with the things that you're trying to accomplish, both in the committees as the board and as well as the Board of Directors. And so just do a little quick rundown. We have Cheryl Adams. Cheryl, where are you at? Raise your hand, give us a little wave. You're somewhere out there. Cheryl is our professional standards administrator. Many of you know her. She's the person who we kind of hope no one ever has to have any kind of interaction with, because that means the transaction has not gone so well. But she works really well with some super dedicated volunteers of our association who take care of code of ethics problems, grievances, and all those sorts of things. It's a really tough job. It can get a little bit thorny, particularly when you're talking about people's commissions and money and that kind of stuff. And Cheryl does a great job working with those different committee members and navigating through those difficult situations. So Cheryl, thank you very much for everything you do with the team and we're looking forward to more out of you this year. We know you got a lot on your calendar on the front end of the year, that's for sure. At this time, I would like to introduce somebody new to our team, and that is Melody. Where is Melody at? Let's go ahead and get a spotlight on her. Here we go. Even though that's not her name now, Melody had a very exciting 2020. This is Melody Zimmerman. She's our new government affairs director. She recently got married last year. She also joined us at the start of this year. So Melody's had a pretty crazy 12 months. And we are so happy to have her as part of the team. She's onboarding. In addition, Summer has been helping her out as well. And we are so happy to have her. She has a lot of legislative background, and we are definitely going to be transferring that into helping us out with accomplishing our goals going forward. So Melody, welcome to the team and welcome to the GPAR family.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Glad to be here.
Welcome, Melody.
Okay, so more transition. We had another new teammate join the team, and let's see if we can find her. Where is she at? Let's get the spotlight out. And there she is. From the world headquarters of GPAR at 123 South Broad Street, we have Gina Rowley. Gina is our new director of finance for the organization. She has been working hard over the last 2 weeks. She joined us just last week. She's been working with Shar, onboarding with all the different things to go ahead and make sure we have a very tight running financial ship. She'll be working very closely with Link and myself and the board of directors to make sure that we have our financial things going in the right direction. Gina has nonprofit background experience with finances, and that's going to really help us out very well. So welcome, Gina. All right, so we have, where is Donna at? Donna, raise your hand. There we go. Let's get a spotlight on her. Hey, Donna, how are you? We all know Donna LaPera. She's our member services director. She fields a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. Pretty much when anything is going wrong with something with licensure or anything that really doesn't fall underneath of her umbrella, she's the person who winds up getting the call and somehow has a way of helping people out. That Donna, thank you very much for all of your efforts to make today happen. You were working behind the scenes, and we really appreciate your efforts. So thank you, Donna. And Charlotte, where are you? You can't escape us, Charlotte. Where are you at? There's somewhere around here. Boom. Let's get a spotlight on you. All right. So Char is trying to go into retirement, but I'm not letting her. She was hoping for an easy, quick escape. That's not happening. But Charlotte is transitioning into retirement. Thank you so much, Charlotte, for all your patience and working through this period of transition. We will be having a happy hour for her in a couple of weeks. So please keep an eye on your inbox for messages about our send-off for Charlotte. It's going to be at 7 o'clock on a Thursday night in a few weeks. So we hope you will join us to raise a glass as we celebrate Char and all the contributions that she's made to our organization. So good to see you, Char.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure working with everyone.
All right, folks. So here we go. We're going to get into the real work now. And at this time, we're going to introduce our board of directors to you. And what we'll do is we're going to walk through our board, give you a little bit about their different experiences that they have, and share a little fun fact with you about each of our members of the board of directors, so you can have a little bit of better idea of who they are and some of the things that they bring to the table. So we're going to start off with our directors, and the first one up is Janice Benstock. Janice has been involved in many different ways within our association. Most importantly, from our vantage point, she's been a great contributor as it relates to instructing the code of ethics to our members, as well as a couple of other classes that she did during the course of the pandemic. So we welcome Janice back onto the board of directors for 2021. Interesting fact about Janice, in the late 80s, she worked on the Wildwood Boardwalk on the game Bust One, You Win, the balloon joint on the boardwalk. So that's where she got her start in sales. So welcome, Janice. Next up, Anastasia Dewan. Anastasia is involved in numerous committees, including chairing up the diversity committee, in which he had a phenomenal 2021. They did some really great stuff for us and got some tremendous momentum to carry us forward into the new year. Anastasia has also served as a director on the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors. She brings a great wealth of experience to us, and she is going to be participating in PAR's upcoming leadership program. So welcome, Anastasia, and we'll get into your fun fact. What is that? I love pickles. I can't eat enough of them, it seems like. She could actually eat an entire jar of pickles in one sitting. So there we go, Anastasia, loving pickles. Next up, Carlos Mesa. Carlos, as you can see, has a bunch of different ways in which he's contributed to the association in various committees. He was the co-chair of RPAC last year. He's been very involved in government affairs. He is going to be a director this year for PAR. And we look at Carlos's fun fact. He once toured the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, which is currently the tallest structure on planet Earth. So that's a pretty cool little factoid. And if you know anything about Carlos, he's into building things. So of course, he would go into the biggest building on Earth. Chris Mattioli. Chris, he is the chair of our RPAC committee. He raised over $62,000 last year. He's been a great contributor to that committee, and he's an alternate director for us for PAR this year. And we're happy to have Chris on the board of directors this year. Chris is the overachiever and gave us two fun facts. One, his daughter Mia is a performer at Disney World, and she has been Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, and Olaf. And then probably the funny fact is this: he's a kid from South Philly, but a very experienced horseback rider. So pretty cool fact there from Chris. Next up, we have Stephen Stiles. Stephen is the newest member on our board of directors. Welcome, Stephen. Stephen has contributed in many different ways, including professional standards stuff with the grievance committee, heavily involved in RPAC and government affairs and those different robust conversations that we've had. Also, he's helped out with PAR, serving on committees out in Harrisburg. Stephen's fun fact, and goes right to the heart of it, in his spare time, he loves to read comic books. So Stephen Stiles, the way he detaches from real estate is going into comic books. Jeannie Whipple. Jeannie Whipple's back on the board of directors this year. She has served in many capacities, including as an executive officer on our board in the past. She's been involved in bylaws task force. This year, she's also on our PAR team as a director for 2021. And Jeannie wins the prize for the longest fun fact. And we'll distill this down to this. Her parents were first generation Americans born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The thing that stands out is that Jeannie is the only person in her family born in the South. Everybody was either from Italy, Austria, Russia, or Milwaukee. At 17, she fled the South and came to Philadelphia, and we are better for it. So Jeannie Whipple, thank you very much for being on our board this year. We're now going to go into our executive committee and give you a little bit about them and the backgrounds that they bring to the table, as well as their fun facts. Chris Summers, our immediate past president. Just look at it. He's got a laundry list of different things that Chris has contributed to the association. Tremendous contributor to the association. And we're glad to have him back as immediate past president this year. A holdover, a two-time immediate past president, if you will. And Chris's fun fact, if anyone follows Chris on social media, they know that he is not just involved in real estate, but he's also involved in the stock market, and in particular, biotech and pharmaceuticals. So we look at this, he's active in putting up his thoughts and impressions about the market, and he is being followed with a subscription-based service on his thoughts on those industries within Wall Street. So if you're not following Chris, go ahead, give him a follow on social, get a few tips. Next up, Link Slipikoff. Link is our treasurer. He comes back for a second year as treasurer. Link has been heavily involved in both GPAR and PAR on various committees. Kind of you name it, he's been there, whether it's professional standards, RPAC, government affairs. He brings it all to the table. and has a very, very good voice and a unique view on things. Link's fun fact is that he was once a professional skier. So he's probably wishing he was somewhere other than this right now on the slopes, although his baby might have something to do with him not being able to be on the slopes. Sorry about that, Link. Next up, Roderick Walker. He is going to be our vice president this year. Roderick has served in many capacities with GPAR, various committees from diversity, government affairs, professional standards. He's also active out at PAR. He, like Anastasia, will be in their upcoming leadership academy. And we're so pleased to have Roderick in this position in 2021. Roderick's fun fact is in his early days of boxing, he took tap dancing lessons to help master his footwork. So one thing I'm noticing out of our executive team is that sports are playing a heavy influence and a role in their lives and their fun facts. Next up, our president-elect, Jake Markovitz. Jake had a very exciting 2020, got married, they have a baby on the way, bought a house. He comes back this year as our president-elect. He served in various capacities with committees. He's a PAR director this year. And Jake's fun fact, going back to sports, during the pandemic, he's taken up disc golfing since he cannot pursue his other weird hobby of axe throwing. And if we know, Jake helped us out with an RPAC event a couple years ago where we did some axe throwing for RPAC. Pretty cool event when we were able to all get together. So hopefully we can do that again sometime in the future. And then next up, and lastly, our 2021 president returning for another round of this fun and games, Stephanie Biello. You can see Stephanie been involved in numerous committees. She made it through 2020 and she's coming back for a second time. Stephanie's fun fact also involves sports. She loves volleyball and coaching. Her favorite team that she coached was the senior women's Olympic volleyball team. So really cool fun fact from Stephanie. And again, thank you all for your willingness to step up and help us out on our board of directors. At this time, I would like to go ahead and introduce Bill Festa. He's the immediate past president for the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors. He is going to swear in our directors and the executive committee, except for Stephanie. Bill, phenomenal job in 2020. Thank you for everything that you did to lead us through a crazy and challenging time. The floor is yours, Bill. And you have to unmute, Bill.
There we go. Thank you, Matt. Crazy and challenging is probably a very nice way of putting it. This year, last year, will probably go down in history as one of the most unique years ever, especially for real estate and especially for leading an organization such as GPAR. Stephanie Biello, hats off to you. You did a great job last year as a president of GPAR. And I wish you all the best this year. I know that you'll do a fantastic job. And I know that you have had tremendous help from Matt Braden and the staff throughout the years. So in one big congratulations, I want to congratulate Stephanie. I want to congratulate Matt, all the officers and directors from 2020, and especially the hardworking GPAR staff. Gina and Melanie, you are getting on board with a first-class organization. So thank you for all that you've done and continue to do to help realtors and their clients. Before we go into the actual installation, I just want to take this opportunity to encourage all of you to invite another realtor to get involved in the Realtor organization. Now, when I say Realtor organization, I'm talking about local, state, and national. We have a tendency to want to separate them into three categories, but no, we are all one organization, which are realtors that operate at three separate levels. Now, you might be thinking, that now might not be the best time to invite someone to get involved. Well, just the opposite is true. We found that people are more willing to get involved in a virtual platform. It has turned out to be the greatest stepping stone to see what we're all about and then take the next step to getting involved. So if you work with another realtor who's never jumped on a coffee talk or on any of the other virtual programs that GPAR has sponsored, now's the time to encourage them to do so. Remind them that they can have a say on how we're doing business in the future, or they could be on the cutting edge of what's going on at our local, state, and national association. They can share their thoughts and give their input. We all play a valuable role in this organization, whether it's local, state, or national. We're realtors. We have the same common goals. We have the same common purposes, no matter where you serve, and that is to promote homeownership, to promote ethical behavior, to advocate for fair legislation, and to prepare this industry for the future. I am so proud of GPAR and what you have done. And I've already mentioned how proud I am of Stephanie and Matt. But I also want to mention some GPAR members like Al Perry, who will serve as PAR's first vice president in 2021 and will be the PAR president in 2023, a GPAR member. For your district vice president, Heather Patrone-Shook, who runs a fantastic meeting and takes back important information from state and brings it back to local, and vice versa. I also want to thank another GPAR member, Stephen Stiles, who served on the governance PAG. For those that don't know, a PAG is a presidential advisory group. And I especially want to thank GPAR members Roderick Walker and Chung Van Tran, who recently served on PAR's Inclusion PAG. I want to thank Frank Giacovini, who will be NAR's District 2 Regional Vice President in 2022. GPAR, many of you, I wish I could name all of the people I should be thanking, but thank you for volunteering your time to serve as members of board of directors, serve on committees, serve on presidential advisory groups. You are doing a phenomenal job representing the Greater Philadelphia Association of Realtors and all of us at the state, local, and national association. We are in a fantastic profession. Do you realize that we've helped thousands of people to build wealth? We bring families together. We make differences in people's lives, and we help the American dream to become a reality. So I urge you to continue to volunteer for your association. I urge you to ask others to join in this great adventure. And just as it was promised to me by Joe Sindoni and Lou Starkman, I promise that you will never regret it. So thank you for giving me a few minutes to state my thoughts about GPAR. Will the people that were announced at the beginning prepare to be installed? Okay. To the GPAR line officers and board of directors, you are about to assume a role that will no longer classify you as a private citizen, but as a public servant. You are now identified as officers and directors of the Greater Philadelphia Association of Realtors and committed to the best interest of the public and to the welfare of the Greater Philadelphia Association of Realtors. In this role, you are entering a new adventure in camaraderie, friendships that only come through service, cooperation, and sharing with others. The secret of living is the art of giving. And so to you, this year comes the privilege of giving and learning that lasting happiness comes through the investment of your time and your unselfish interest in the lives of others. So to those who are now being installed, please raise your right hand. Do you so solemnly and sincerely promise that you will administer your role as either officers or directors to the best of your ability and judgment, in conformity with the Constitution and bylaws of the Greater Philadelphia Association of Realtors, the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors, and the National Association of Realtors? That you will adhere to and enforce the code of ethics of the Realtor Association. That you will uphold and enforce the provisions of the Pennsylvania licensing law and the rules and regulations of the State Real Estate Commission. And that you will in all your acts be governed by the principles of honesty, justice, and fair play, and in every manner possible endeavor to promote and safeguard the best interests of the citizens of our Commonwealth, the high purposes of the Greater Philadelphia Association of Realtors, and the welfare of your membership. If you do so subscribe, please unmute yourself and answer, I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
Let the record show that all have answered in the affirmative. You may now lower your hand. And by virtue of the authority conferred upon me by the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors, I do hereby proclaim each of you as officially installed as officers and directors of the Greater Philadelphia Association of Realtors. Congratulations, 2021 officers and directors. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, congratulations. Thank you very much, Bill, for doing that for us. And thank you for the words of encouragement and also for giving some recognition to the various GPAR contributors at the various levels of leadership. Yes, our association has done a fabulous job of getting involved on all the different levels, bringing it back here locally. And it's so awesome to see us have a voice and a place to go ahead and offer our expertise, experience, and have a good seat at the table. It's phenomenal. And look at the example that we have. Thank you, Bill. A wonderful example of how to be a leader during a very challenging time, not just with the substance, but more importantly with the style, the way in which you go ahead and you welcome people in and you're a champion for us. And it's not always about brute strength. You can also be a gentleman and still deliver a powerful message. So thank you very much, Bill, for your example of leadership. With that, we're now going to get to introducing and getting into the swearing in of our president, Stephanie Biello. And for that task, we have the president of NAR, Charlie Oppler. But before we let Charlie get the microphone here, we need to go ahead and thank him. Not because he's getting 10 of my dollars, because I lost a bet this morning, but because of the dollars that he helped us raise for the Phil Abundance fundraiser. If you remember back at our general membership meeting, we had a very modest ask. We were trying to raise $500 during the course of that event. At that point in time, I had to go ahead and look at my numbers here. We had raised $2,912. Charlie heard that $500 and said, "Hey, if you guys raise $500, I'll match it." Next thing you know, we started getting donations flowing in. Councilman Dom jumps in and he starts challenging people with the $500 club. In the span of about an hour and a half, we raised over $12,000. Sum total, we raised $17,600 for Phil Abundance through that fundraiser. Outstanding job. Thank you, President Charlie Oppler, for your contributions to that, both from your pocket, but also going ahead and motivating and kind of getting that ball rolling for us. Phenomenal stuff. And it's a reflection of the Realtor community and their willingness to give back and to help people, because food insecurity is a big deal. And what you guys did was a big deal as well. So with that, NAR President Charlie Oppler.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to install Stephanie in a few minutes. I don't know that I will be as eloquent as Bill Festa. I probably never am, but I think the most important thing that I've learned this year is that it's about what you're doing for other people. We're all very fortunate in many cases of having things that other people don't have. And I think when we focus on volunteerism, that's where leadership and what you do cross paths. Most of the time, it's the people that are involved. And as somebody once told me, if you want something done, ask a busy person because they're used to doing more. When I ran for this position, the one thing I said, it wasn't about giving back because we all give our time differently. It's what can you do more? And leadership is about empowering and enabling and helping other people continue the journey with you. So for the new directors, for the new leadership team, for all the members of the board, it's about what you can do for your members and for your community. And if we keep that focus, and we're doing that at the National Association, we're counting volunteer hours. We think we're going to hit well over 5 million volunteer hours of Realtor members. And we hope it inspires other people as they share their stories about what they're doing in the community. We're going to be a big focus this year on the Realtor Relief Foundation because it's the 20th anniversary of that horrific event of 9/11. But we want to be prepared to help Realtor members, whether it's an earthquake, a fire, a nor'easter, tornadoes, just so many devastating things that have happened in our country over the years. We've helped over 15,000 families, Realtor members, with mortgage payments and rent payments when their homes were destroyed or flooded or whatever might be the case. And we want to make sure that we can do that for the next 50 years, because if we take care of each other, we'll be able to take care of other people in the community as well. So I congratulate all of you. Keep doing what you do. Stephanie, Vince Malt and I had an agreement that said we knew this last year and this year were going to be tough years, but we didn't want to do it again. So that I can tell you is an honor in itself that your members felt that you would be the right person to lead the organization again. And I couldn't agree more. You know, we've gotten to know each other over the years through both PAR work and the Sotheby's Network. And you're such a great leader in your association in the state, but also in your company. And you've been able to do so many great things there over the years to make them a better company and helping the agents as well. So congratulations to you, and it'll be my honor to install you. You're about to assume a role that no longer classifies you as a private citizen again, but as a public service. You are now identified as the president of the Greater Philadelphia Association of Realtors, committed to the best interests of the public and to the welfare of your members. As president, I would say you're entering a new adventure, but you're entering another adventure that we thought 2020 was a tough year. Who knows what 2021 is, through service and cooperation to your members. The secret of living is really the art of giving. And so this year comes the privilege of giving more and learning that the relationships and the happiness that comes through the investment of your time is such a rewarding experience. Would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly and sincerely promise and swear that you will administer the role as president to the best of your ability and judgment in conformity with the Constitution and bylaws of the Greater Philadelphia Association of Realtors, the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors, and the National Association of Realtors? That you will adhere to and enforce the Code of Ethics, that you will uphold and enforce the provisions of the Pennsylvania licensing law and the rules and regulations of the State Real Estate Commission, that you will in all your acts be governed by the principles of honesty, justice, and fair play, and in every manner possible endeavor to promote and safeguard the best interests of the citizens of your Commonwealth, the high purposes of the Greater Philadelphia Association of Realtors, and the welfare of its membership. Do you subscribe?
I do.
You may lower your right hand. By the virtue of the authority conferred upon me by the National Association of Realtors, congratulations. Have a fabulous year. I'm sure you'll do a great job, as will your board of directors and your new director. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I will turn it, I guess I'll turn it over back to Matt or to Stephanie, either one.
All right, I think the spotlight is now on Stephanie. Thank you, President Charlie Oppler. Stephanie.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, President Oppler, for administering that oath. And thank you for all of your support to the Greater Association of Realtors for Philadelphia this past year. And we are looking forward to supporting your initiatives this year. Thank you to PAR's immediate past president, Bill Festa, for installing the board today, and your continued support to GPAR. I'd also like to acknowledge the tremendous work you did in 2020 as president of the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors. Your leadership throughout 2020 was outstanding. I'd also like to give a special thank you to someone who has been a tremendous support and a friend to me, especially this past year, to Councilman Alan Dom. So if he's on here, great, huge thank you for all the support he has given me and to the association over the years. I'd also like to thank my partners in crime at GPAR. That would be Matt, Donna, Cheryl, Summer, and Charlotte. We had a great year last year, and I'm looking forward to working with Gina and Melody this year. I'd also like to give a heartfelt thank you to the members of GPAR. Your support this year was incredible. You tuned in, you jumped on a Zoom, signed petitions, and answered several calls to actions. So I thank you for that, and I look forward to working with you again this year. So today's inauguration is GPAR's first ever virtual installation, which kind of represents my first year as GPAR in 2020. Virtually everything we did last year was a first. From coffee talks and town halls to the happy hours behind the velvet rope, we connected, we collaborated, and we kept the information flowing, helping our members stay ahead of the curve. At my inauguration last year, I had 3 initiatives I wanted to focus on: governance, member engagement, and advocacy. I think we were successful in all 3. With governance, we were able to implement a new set of bylaws that allows our association the flexibility to adapt to a changing environment and still maintain the integrity of our foundational purpose. Member engagement. And I'm going to quote myself from last year when I talked about member engagement, that this is an area where we could truly find opportunity to better connect with our members in a meaningful way to help them grow their skill set, business, and level of professionalism. I think we could say check, check, and check on that one. So I'm very thrilled. And lastly, advocacy. The hours, the days, the weeks, and even months our association spent advocating for us to get back to work was nothing short of admirable. The professional staff's perseverance to keep us relevant was commendable. This year, I will continue to focus on all 3 of these initiatives. To the newly installed board of directors and our committees, chairs, and vice chairs, I'm asking once again for your continued support. Last year, I asked for your time, talent, and energy to take our association to the next level, and you nailed it. Last year was the year of the go-giver leader. You led the association and embraced the challenges because of that common trait we see in all leaders. You are helpers. Helpers listen and always find ways to make things better. This year will be the year of the go-giver influencer. We have positioned our association as the only voice of real estate, and now we have an opportunity and a responsibility to influence change. As realtors, we are ingrained in our communities, we care about our neighborhoods, and we volunteer our time to various organizations. That's just who we are. In addition to my initiatives, I'm asking the board and all of our members to join me in supporting President Charlie Oppler's Good Neighbors Initiative, where members are asked to track their volunteer hours with a goal of logging 5 million hours. I will also create a task force led by our newly installed Vice President, Roderick Walker, focusing on our commercial broker members that will align with President Oppler's initiative to reinvigorate the commercial real estate and support commercial practitioners. In addition to all of that, NAR will launch a mentorship program pairing members with high school and college students of diverse backgrounds who are interested in real estate. This not only for the students, but how rewarding would that be to give to an industry, to give back to an industry that has been so good to us by mentoring these kids. President Oppler would like to expand our realtor family. Speaking of family, this is the part where I thank the most important people in my life. I know some of them are here, some of them are working or in school, but I would like to recognize all of them. So last year at my inauguration, I apologized to them in advance that it was going to be a busy year and I could be pulled in more directions than usual. I swear I had no idea. Matt lied, I swear. Anyway, they endured quite a year my first year and I couldn't have made it without them. It was rewarding and tough at times, but their support, love, and a whole lot of understanding got me through it all. I love them all, and I love them for letting me be me. Again, thank you everyone for joining, and let's have a great year.
Okay, congratulations, Stephanie. Awesome words. Yes, I sincerely apologize to Don for all the, Stephanie and I spent a lot of time on the phone at nighttime and on weekends last year. And while they were great conversations, I hope we don't have to repeat them again in 2021. Hopefully you'll be able to have dinner at a regular time and all that kind of stuff like that. So Stephanie, thank you so much. This was a wonderful event. Congratulations to our entire board of directors on joining us today and for this journey that we're going to go through in the next year. Thank you, Bill Festa. Thank you to Charlie Oppler and everyone else. Have a wonderful day. Have a great weekend. And we look forward to seeing you at an upcoming coffee talk where we can all get together and learn more about our industry and get together and be social. And also, don't forget, we're going to have a happy hour for Charlotte in a couple of weeks on a Thursday night. So we hope to see you all there. So until next time, folks, have a great day. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.